Welcome to the Middle Age Magic April News Roundup. I'm Sharon. Join me in a second for 20 minutes of exciting news. Go and grab yourself a drink, a beverage, and your favourite snack, and come back, and we'll rattle through this April news. Welcome to the Middle Age Magic Theme Park and Planning Holiday blog with your hosts Sharon and Sam. Except today you've just got Sharon because Sam's at a beauty pageant. I'll get her to tell you all about it on our next main vlog. So anyway, this is April news. There's a little bit of April news, not as much as usual, which is good because that means we'll be able to get through it fairly quickly, which makes it sound like there's not a lot of exciting things happening, but there's been a fair bit of news this month. So let's start with Seaworld because there's only a little bit of news from Seaworld. So the Festival of the Seven Seas is due to finish on the 7th of May, but never fear, there is a plethora of exciting entertainment that's going on at Seaworld. They've got various festivals that mostly involve food and music and other excitement going out throughout the rest of the summer. So I believe the next one, which is music based, will also start in May. So there won't be a lull in SeaWorld snacks in May, you'll be pleased to know. Possibly the most exciting thing coming up SeaWorld at the moment is the new Pipline surf coaster is in full test mode. So everything's in it's ready to go. Basically, there's been human testing. All they are doing now is finishing landscaping the area. And it is due to open in May. So SeaWorld have officially announced that Pipline will be open in May. When in May? Who knows? But May's only got April, June, and November. It's only got 30 days. So it will open at some point in the 30 days of May. So we look forward to seeing many videos that our favourite bloggers will be posting about riding it. There'll be loads of POVs, no doubt. I will never get on that in a million years. Sam cannot wait to ride it. I'll just hold her bag and take a video. Yeah, so that's what's been going on at SeaWorld in April. As far as Universal goes, probably the biggest news to come out of things in Universal is the fact that Posiedons Fury is closing, and it's closing permanently on May the 9th. So if you turn up on May the 10th and expect to go through that experience, it's not going to happen. You will be turned away. Universal say it will make way for exciting and new experiences, but a lot of fans are not happy. This ride is it's not really a ride, it's a walk-through experience / show. People either, as we Brits like to say, it's a bit Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. There's nobody that I've ever spoke to that went, it's all right. They're either, oh my God, it's amazing, or, oh, that's a half an hour of my life I'll never get back. It's one of those rides, experiences, shows that's been on it was on our to-do list for this trip we're going on, because neither Sam or I have ever ridden it. Sam didn't have time when she went to Universal because she only had 2 days and a Harry Potter mad child. And the park was busy because it was Christmas. So she didn't get looking at anything that wasn't Harry Potter related. And I've only been to Universal on corporate park nights where the park's been hired for us to go to when we've been at a conference. So that part of the park has only been open for us to walk through it. So I've seen the talking fountain, and I know where the area of the park is, but I didn't even know that there was an experience to experience there until I've recently watched a video from Anna and Tyler, the Pew 2, who are amazing, and they had done this ride experience because they hadn't done it for a while, and they both said how much they loved it and how much they ought to do it more. So that put it on our to-do list, and of course now it's bloody shutting, so we can't do it. So yeah, the cool thing is that Universal have created a T-shirt. They've created Posiedons Fury is closing T-shirt, which will be available, I believe, from Monday. So if you're planning to experience Posiedons Fury before it closes, you'd better hurry up because you've only got until May the 9th. That whole area that it's in, well, there's not really a lot there now, is there? There's a restaurant, a couple of gift shops, maybe, and a couple of snack places, maybe a quick service. Can't remember. I've only walked through in the dark. And the Sinbad Theatre's been closed since 2018, so that's only used now for overflow queuing. And sometimes it's open, you can go and have a sneaky peek in there. But there are a lot of rumours that the whole of the Lost Continent is going to be revamped into a new mini land or zone. Now, the Queen of Epic Universe, Alicia Stella, did a little blog post on this the other day, and the rumour is that there might be something along the lines of something from the Legend of Zelda that will go into this area, which will be interesting. She's not often wrong where it comes to rumours and gossip. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But the Lost Continent, I fear, is going to be lost forever. So if that's part of the park that you particularly like and you're going to Universal anytime soon, I would go and soak it up while you can, because I don't think it's going to be there for much longer, which is a shame. But I totally get why they're revamping that whole area, because it's a bit tired. Is that the right word? Tired. Yes, we'll go with tired. It's a bit tired. So what else is going on at Universal? The Hogwarts Castle Light Show is closing also on the 9th of May, but only for refurbishment. Never fear, Harry Potter fans, that is coming back. But it's having a overhaul. So there's going to be no nighttime show at Universal. There's no nighttime show in either Universal park currently. So hopefully they'll come back with a bang, or a whiz or a blast at some point very soon. The AP Passholder Lounge, new AP Passholder Lounge, is opening on the 1st of May in the Betty Boop store. So if you're an annual pass holder at Universal, you'll get your lounge back, which is nice, because the AP whole pass holders do like a lounge. If you go and check out Jackie and Sam over at Super Enthused, they did a really good walkthrough of the new AP Lounge at Islands of Adventure. So go and check out their video. The walkthrough starts, I think, about 3 minutes 40. Obviously, I'll put a link in the show notes, and you can go and check it out for yourself. But it does look incredibly cool. We liked our little lounge when we used to have one at Disneyland Paris. So other exciting or scary news that's been going on at Universal is there were some big changes to E.T.'s Adventure. So there's a lot of work going on in that area at the park at the moment. So the main entrance is gone, and if you want to ride E.T.'s Adventure, you're now being routed through the pre-show room to get into the attraction. The exit gift shop is closed, and the ride's pre-show has been made shorter. Don't panic, it's not being got rid of. It's all due to the construction that's going on in the former kids zone, because E.T.'s Adventure nestles onto the edge of that. And there is an awful lot of work going on there. There's still no news on what it might be, other than possibly DreamWorks based. But it's all systems go on that part of the park at the moment. So the changes to ET are to accommodate what's been going on there, and hopefully once that's been completed, that ET will go back to the way that it should be, because that is another ride that's on our hit list that neither of us have done, and we have to do. So talking of construction, the next ride that's going to open at Universal is obviously the Villain Con Minion Blast. Try saying that. when your teeth aren't in. Of which there's no definite date of when it's going to be open, but it will be soon. So recently, I think just last week, the shops have new signs. So the shop on the Minion side, the silly stuff, has got a new sign, and on the Villain Con sign, the shop has got a big arrow pointing out that's called Evil Stuff, which is quite cool. The construction from the outside at least looks like it's complete now. So all the facades done, all the signs are up. The Minion Cafe is burning along nicely. Not actually burning, but coming along nicely, building along nicely. That's how Spritz likes to say. And after what looked like nothing was going on for ages, the cafe is looking pretty good. The rumour is the cafe is not going to open at the same time as the ride, a little bit after, because they're obviously concentrating on getting the ride open as soon as possible. And also, the latest bit of gossip is that the Minion Cafe may be a character buffet, which will be epic. I would love to have a dinner with the Minions. I love the Minions. They are hilarious. I can't get enough of them. They make fart noises. I am a small child when it comes to humour like that. So Minions are one of my favourites. So I'd love to have dinner with the Minions. And again, talking of construction, Epic Universe is just racing along. I was toying with the idea of doing a separate Epic Universe update video, but to be honest, there is no point, because, as I keep saying, the queen of Epic Universe, Alicia Stella, does an amazing job over at OrlandoParkstop.com. So not only does she write a blog on what's been going on Epic Universe on a regular basis, but she does a video on what's been going on Epic Universe. There's at least a monthly update on all the construction. Of course, tagged in with Bio Reconstructs amazing aerial photos. So if you want to keep up to date with what's going on in Epic Universe, go check out Alicia Stella's blog, and go check out Bio Reconstruct on Twitter. I will stick the links and their socials in the show notes, so you can go and check it out. I'm addicted to stalking her stuff and his stuff about Epic Universe, and I really seriously cannot wait for it to open. But enough of me gabbling on about Epic Universe. Let's move on to some of the excitement that has been going on at Disney. And for Disneyland in Anaheim, there's been a lot of excitement, a lot of Fantasmic excitement. So if you've been under a rock, you may not have heard that there was an incident at Fantasmic in Anaheim, which involved the Maleficent Dragon catching on fire and the show being cancelled and the park being evacuated. There is a video, thanks to Scott Gustin. He posted it on Twitter, and it is funny, but it's not funny. The dragon really does go up. But in one of the videos, in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll notice a guy scuttling out from behind the scenes and trying to put it out with the world's smallest fire extinguisher, which is what I thought was amusing. The fire crews got there on the boats across the water, managed to put it out. No one was hurt. They put it out really quickly, but my God, it looked horrific. There's a few videos, including somebody that's got a video coming out of Splash Mountain, and all you can see is Maleficent's Dragon on fire. So the news is that the Fantasmic show at Anaheim's going to be suspended until at least May the 14th at Disneyland. Luckily, Fantasmic in Orlando is still running, but with no fire effect, because they still don't know why it whooshed up so quick. And the Maleficent Dragon in the parades in various parks throughout the world are also having no fire until they work out why it went woof as quick as it did. So when we get news of when that'll be back, we'll let you know. And talking of Anaheim, Splash Mountain is closing there permanently on May the 30th, which gives Splash Mountain fans another month to get their fix before its revamp to Tiana's Bio Adventure. I thought both Splash Mountain's revamps to Tiana was supposed to be happening. They're supposed to be opening at roughly the same time, so 2025. But the Imagineers in Anaheim are going to have to get a wriggle on because the guys in Florida have had a 3.5, nearly 4 month head start. So we'll see who wins that race. But if you want to ride Splash Mountain, you gotta hurry up because there's not a lot of time left, unfortunately. I've ridden it once, and once was enough because that drop felt like a million miles away. So other Disney news: Animal Kingdom celebrated its 25th anniversary in April. There is a bunch of cool merchandise available now for a limited time, and 25th food and snacks, which are also available for a limited time. I'm kind of guessing it's probably going to be the end of May, maybe. Depends. They might string it out a bit longer. Who knows? But also for an extra time, you'll be able to see some characters that you don't normally see in Animal Kingdom. So Moana, for instance, is there for a while before she moves to her permanent spot in Epcot. Tinkerbell was also in Animal Kingdom, and some other characters again as well. So if you're in the Animal Kingdom over the next few weeks, keep your eye out for extra characters that you wouldn't normally see. Now we're heading into May, and May is a special time if you're a Star Wars fan, because May the 4th is Star Wars Day. But there's a whole bunch of Star Wars theming going on at the parks throughout the whole of May. So Disneyland in Anaheim will get its Hyperspace Mountain Star Wars overlay. So their overlay of Space Mountain to turn it into Hyperspace Mountain. We're quite lucky at Disneyland Paris because we have that all the time. So our Space Mountain is Hyperspace Mountain all of the time, which is great if you're a Star Wars fan. Not so great if you're like me and you're not a roller coaster fan, because I've not ridden it. I really want to, but I don't want to go upside down, and I don't like roller coasters in the dark, so I'm kind of screwed. Sam is convinced that she's going to be able to get me on it at some point. I'm not convinced that I'm going to go on it at some point, but we'll see. Part of me really wants to ride it. The other part of me is absolutely terrified. But apparently, according to Nate, Page and Mr. Morrow, our Disneyland Paris Space Mountain is the best Space Mountain in the world. Can't get a bigger endorsement than that, really, can you? So what else is going on for Star Wars the month of May in the parks? Well, as well as extra characters that you'll see randomly roaming, no doubt, there's also going to be some limited edition food and drinks available. And the lovely guys at Attractions Magazine have kindly listed in a blog post, which I'll link in the show notes, where you can find all of these limited edition goodies throughout the parks in May. And some of them look absolutely amazing. And it's just slightly envious that I can't be at a Disney park for May the 4th, but hey ho. Sam will be posting lots of embarrassing photos of me with Star Wars characters on May the 4th, because they always seem to tell me off, as she's mentioned before. So talking of Star Wars, as announced at Celebration Europe last month, which Sam was lucky enough to go to again, she's just evil, Star Tours is going to continue to evolve, and we could get an addition to Star Tours as early as 2024. There's no sort of region of 2024 yet, but at least we're giving us a year, which is something to start with. So the rumours are that Star Tours is going to be extended with scenes from the Disney Plus series. So we could be treated to visiting Boba Fett, for instance, at his palace, formerly Jabba's palace. We could go and visit Obi-Wan in the prequel series. We could also see scenes from the new Ahsoka series, which is coming in August to Disney Plus, and also obviously, of course, the Mandalorian with Grogu attached. I'm I will be very shocked if there is not at least 2 or 3 scenes that involve Mandalorians. And we have become, I like to say the royal we, because obviously I do costume as a Mandalorian, so I identify as a Mandalorian. We've been one of these characters that's been lacking in Star Wars for quite some time, and now it's almost emotional to see how much Mandalorians are embraced in the Star Wars world. So that makes me very happy. So I am, for one, I cannot wait. And I really hope that they roll it out to all the Star Tours at the same time. Because when they revamped and updated it to 3D, us in Disneyland Paris got the 3D version 2 years behind the Orlando version. So it was a long wait to get it. But we'll see. I'm just happy that we're getting extra stuff. But, I'll ride Star Tours 11 or 12 times when I go on a Disney trip. I don't care. It's my favourite. It's my favourite ride. Anyway, moving on before I get completely Star Wars obsessed. Oh, too late, already am. If you're into your characters, and because it's the 100th anniversary, you can see Goofy, Donald and Pluto in their blue and silver Disney 100 character outfits, and they've been visiting the on-property resort hotels as part of a spontaneous character caravan. So there's no schedule. They just tip up at a resort hotel literally for photographs. And it's been happening a fair bit in Orlando. So if you're on property, just keep your eye out, and you might be lucky enough to meet them, because as well as Mickey and Minnie in their blue and silver outfits, the only chance you really get to see them in their Disney 100 outfits is in the parades. There is no meet and greet with them per se in their character, in their new outfits. So if you want to meet them in their new outfits, you may have to go stalking around the on property hotels. But that if Sam and I were there now, we would so be doing that. Because we do love a character in a special outfit. In other character news, the Edna Mode experience is returning to Hollywood Studios on the 14th of May as part of a reimagined Pixar place, which is great because that place has been deader than a can of spam since they moved the entrance to, what's the bloody ride called? Toy Story. The Midtown Mania. Oh my God, I've got my brain. I've obviously not had enough coffee. Maybe I should go and get one. Yeah, so since they've moved the entrance and exit to Toy Story Midtown Mania, that whole part of Pixar place was a dead end. Basically, nothing was going on. So you'll be able to meet Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, Frozone, and Sully from Monsters Inc., as well as Edna, which will be good. Other news, closures and refurb news. Blizzard Beach is still closed for its annual maintenance. It's taken a bit longer than normal. It usually only takes a couple of weeks or so, or maybe a month for it to be shut, but it's still closed. So there's no news on when it will be reopened yet, other than it will reopen obviously at some point. So just be aware there is only one Disney water park at the moment, but obviously there is other water parks that you can visit whilst you're in Orlando. So Aquatica, for instance, or Volcano Bay. We don't do water parks, but that's just because it's not really hot when we go. But maybe we'll visit one just to say we've done one. The other big closure news is that Rock and Roller Coaster is closing for a refurb until at least summer 2023. There is no news on when it will reopen yet, and because of what is going on with Steven Tyler from Aerosmith at the moment, there is also Google it if you don't know. There's also a bit of a rumor that they might be changing it. So whether that means it will be a selection of bands playing music, like they do at the Universal hideous roller coaster that I'm not even going to say its name because it's just looking at it makes me vomit. But you get to choose your music. Rip Ride Rocket, that's the one. But lots of people have gone, oh, change it to a Queen roller coaster. Like, yeah, because they're going to be able to like whip that in 6 months. But I don't know what will go on with it. But it's closed for a refurb. Whether that means they'll change the music, they'll do something. They can't do much with it if they're going to open it up in 6 months' time. But if they are going to ditch Aerosmith, my guess is they'll either change it to one band or they'll do what they do on the Guardians ride, and they'll have a different soundtrack, or you can pick your soundtrack. Okay, so moving on to Disneyland. That's all. There's been lots going on at Disney this month, but not as much as we've had in previous months, which is why it doesn't sound like a lot. Moving on to Disneyland Paris, the shock news that came earlier in the month is that there would be no ticketed Halloween or New Year event at Disneyland Paris this year. No explanation as to why there isn't, other than there isn't. They are happening, obviously, in other Disney parks around the world. So it's just a Paris thing. Our version of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party was becoming ridiculously popular. Originally, they only used to have it on Halloween itself, on the 31st of October, and then they've started to do what they've done in other Disney parks, where they have it on a Friday and a Saturday, or they'd have it 3 days a week, and it's now almost as busy, where they have 4 or 5 dates where it's and it sells out. It sells out really quickly, and it's expensive, but it's good. The other ticket event is the New Year's Eve party, which is huge at Disneyland Paris. It sells out in minutes. The tickets for the New Year. There's been a lot of uproar on a lot of the Disney groups, the Disney Paris groups that I'm in, because there's been no explanation as to why they're not there, other than it may be related to the legal hoo-ha or the term stuff they're trying to work out at the moment, which is why the annual passes aren't up for sale. So whether it's to do with actually selling additional tickets for events, or whether it's to do with the terms of selling tickets, who knows? But we hope that they get that sorted out soon. And also, we really hope that they are allowing new annual passes to be sold again soon, because, we were going to buy them this month and they're not on sale again at the moment. Yay. My favourite subject, if you can't guess what it is, bloody Frozen Land. Or, sorry, to give it its proper title, the Kingdom of Arendelle. So the Kingdom of Arendelle, or bloody Frozen Land, is currently undergoing magnificent, I think that's the only word I could use to describe it, construction. It's slated, it's going to be open in 2025. And I think they might actually make it, judging by what I've seen. We have our very own version of BioReconstruct over in Paris called Disneyland Paris Works, and they post basically all the cool stuff that's going on construction-wise at Disneyland Paris, and they've given some amazing aerial photos and videos of all the construction work that's actually going on at Arendelle, and they really have. It's gone from looking like a patch of dirt. It's almost Epic Universe construction proportions. It's gone from a patch of dirt to, oh, that actually looks like they've done a shed load of work. And I'm not sure whether they are just working on the Arendelle land, or whether they're pushing out and also doing some of the foundation work for the other bits of the park that was expanding around there. Because I think we were getting something Rapunzel based, which kind of would merge into Arendelle. I'm using hand gestures again, gesticulating on a video. But also, we were due to get our version of Galaxy's Edge in 2025. This was all pre-pandemic, obviously. Everything ground to a halt with the pandemic, and nothing happened. But our version of Galaxy's Edge hasn't even broken ground yet, which makes me want to cry, because I would much rather have Galaxy's Edge than bloody Frozen Land. But If they can get Arendelle up and running, that would please me greatly, because it would mean that they would move a lot of the Frozen stuff that's in other bits of Disneyland Paris to Arendelle, which means if we're going to have any princess being, or any princesses being, like overly popular, it should be Aurora and Belle, because it's Aurora's castle in Paris, and it is the prettiest castle. Sorry, rest of the world, but we do have the prettiest. We do have the prettiest Disney castle, and obviously Belle from Beauty and the Beast, which is based in France, in Paris. So they are the two princesses that should take priority, not Anna and Elsa. For people that love Frozen, I'm really sorry. I think I'm suffering from Frozen overload, but never mind. I'll shut up now. Going on about my hatred for Frozen. I hate Frozen almost as much as I hate Top Gun, which is a whole different story. If you ever see me, ask me about that, and I will tell you. The other very piece of cool, exciting news, which also almost makes up for the Frozen stuff, is the fact that the European premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was held in Disneyland Paris this month. And I'm very excited to see Guardians 3, because Guardians is probably my favourite MCU movie. Yes, it is my favourite MCU movie. It's in my top 10 of my most favourite films in the whole world ever, and I think Peter Quill is my spirit animal. Yep. So Guardians is great fun, and it looked like they had a magnificent time at Disneyland Paris. I did costume as Star-Lord occasionally. That's another whole story. So as far as news goes, that's it really. There's been enough to keep us ticking over, but not so much that we're overwhelmed and we end up recording a nearly 2-hour video. And I've also discovered the way to keep the news videos down to small bite-sized chunks that's easy to consume is not to have Sam on them, because we end up having a bit of a conversation about stuff, which seems to fill the videos out too much. And when it's news, you just want to know what's news, what's not news, move along. Yep. So we're done for April's news. So if you join us in May on the main show, we're going to be talking rides and experiences, and we're breaking it into 3 sections. So the first section, which will be May's video, is about family things to do in the park. If you've got little ones, if you're not interested in the big scary rides, and if you're just interested in sort of all the different experiences you can do and all the non-ride things you can do in the park, we're going to do an episode on that. And then the following month's episode is going to be on how to keep your teens entertained in the park. Sam and I have got a bit of experience on this, because we both have grumpy teenagers now. And then the final part of our 3-parter will be on the thrill seekers. So how to keep the people that only want to do the thrilling and scary rides amused in the parks. And also in May, Sam and I are off to the Disney Wonder of Friendship experience in London. So we'll be bringing you an episode of what all that was about. And also we're having a sneaky trip to the Disney store in London, because there isn't any Disney stores anymore, and London is the only one. So we're going to go out and check that out as well for you. So thanks for watching the Super Fast Lightning News and for putting up with my ranting about bloody Frozen Land. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.